here from Draft FPL, and today I'm looking at 3 players that I think if you own in Draft FPL, it might be time to try and get a trade for. Now, while these players aren't all necessarily particularly bad assets, I just think it might be a good time to hop off them, get a decent value trade in, and try and maximise your points potential. Without any further ado, let's get stuck straight into the first player we're looking at today. And that player is Philippe Coutinho. Obviously, he struggled to start the season. I was actually really high on him. I drafted him in, I think, the 4th round in the Snake Draft League, which obviously hasn't gone great, but I have now shipped him off myself. I just think that Villa look really poor going forward. Coutinho himself has just looked really average. I don't think there's many people that could say they've been impressed by his performances. The Villa fans are desperate for Bowe to come in, and obviously we saw that happen in the last game. It's not like his underlying numbers are good either. There's just nothing really to look forward to about Coutinho, I don't think. It looks like eventually Gerrard's going to go to a 1-up front system with a couple of wingers and 3 in midfield. And I don't see Bowe and Coutinho playing together. I just think they're a bit too similar. Bowe himself has been performing every time he's got on the pitch, and Coutinho's been the complete opposite. So I think it's definitely time to get rid. I think you could get, in most leagues, a decent trade out of Coutinho just for the name recognition. The kind of players I'd be looking at is a Leeds attacking mid, someone like Harrison, Rodrigo, even Aronson I would take, or one of the Brighton duo, I think, of Gross or Trossard. I think any of those would be a fantastic trade for Coutinho and pretty realistic. I think there's people in various leagues that will see Coutinho and think, oh, he's bound to get better, I'll do this and take the upside. But to be honest, I just don't think the upside's there. He's been really poor ever since about March, to be honest. He's not been performing, so yeah, time to get rid in my opinion. The next player is Bruno Guimaraes. Obviously, fantastic player. He's playing brilliantly for Newcastle, but there is a big but. He's playing number 6. He's playing the deepest of a midfield 3. He's not particularly attacking at all this year. That may change when Shelby comes back into the lineup, but for the time being, there's just very little attacking threat. So it's definitely time to get rid. If you can get someone the likes of James Ward-Prowse, Souček, or one of the Wolves mids, Neto, Guedes, someone like that, I think all of those are way better options than Bruno Guimaraes at the moment, just because of the attacking threat. And there may come a point in the season where his attacking output picks up, but I just don't see it happening anytime soon. So yeah, I mean, I would also say if you can't, I think you will be able to get a trade from him for a lot of people, because people do recognise how good of a footballer he is. But if you can't, I'm not even against putting him to the waivers, to be honest, especially if there's a decent pickup available. Finally, we've got Jarrod Bowen. Obviously not someone that you'd consider wavering. He's obviously still a great pick, but I do think there's better options out there in a similar sort of value bracket that you may be able to persuade someone to trade for. I think the likes of the Arsenal mids, Saka, Martinelli, even Odegaard, Foden from City, I think is a better option at the moment. I think those 3 specifically, they've all got much better fixtures than West Ham do. And I'm not sure on the way West Ham are playing at the moment. Bowen doesn't seem to be getting in those same scenarios he was in before, where he's getting big chances and creating big chances. He doesn't seem to be quite on the end of stuff like that, which I think dents his value massively. I think another option I'd take for him is Zaha. Obviously started the season electric, and Palace's fixtures are really tough, but I think sometimes that suits Zaha, to be honest. Gives him more space to run in behind, and it gives him more of a chance to get those big returns. So I would take Bowen for any of those options. Obviously there are more options out there that you'd accept for him, but this is just the kind of players I would look to get in for someone like Bowen. Okay, then that wraps up 3 players I think you should look to move on if you own them in Draft FPL. Obviously, as I said, they're not all terrible options, but I do think they are players that you could potentially hoodwink someone into giving you a better option for. Let me know down in the comments what sort of players you'd be looking at to get in for the players I've mentioned today, and if you think any of those trades are realistic. I will be back tomorrow with the waiver picks video, so make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Like the video if you enjoyed, and we will see you next time.